Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. This is your confirmation that what's in front of you is much better than what's gone. This message is coming with the number of 444, so pay attention if you see this anytime, my friends. 444 is a symbolic of change, truth, and personal character. And as we've entered into this month of September, September is all about growth and expansion. So if you've been seeing number 444, the universe is altering you to significant changes that are happening or soon to happen in your life. So get ready, my friends. You're in the season of massive growth and expansion. So don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try something new in the next few days, because fresh new energy will bring you fresh new miracles. And to me that's an important reminder, because so often we get lost in the comfort zone, and of course it's comfort, that's why it's easy to get lost there. But slowly we start to lose that sensation of freshness, that sensation of experiencing something new, or an urge to experience something new. And it's often an important reminder to pull ourselves a little bit out of the comfort zone and try something fresh, try something new. Because, you know, sometimes what you're the most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. So we need to pay attention to what we are afraid of right now, because maybe that's where your greatest possible freedom is hidden in. Sometimes we just need to dig deeper into our fears so we can overcome them. And when it comes to this message, my friends, it is an important reminder to recognize if there's something you are avoiding just because you're afraid of it. And just pay attention to, why are you avoiding it? Maybe somebody told you that you're not capable of doing that, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy of doing that, that you're not maybe good with whatever it can be related with that thing. Because it's all just a story. Yes, you've heard it. Somebody told you that. Somebody maybe hurt you because of certain words that person used. But you know what? Freedom is your choice and also your responsibility. And to overcome a certain state is required to take action even if it's uncomfortable. And my friends, never put yourself on the second place, because you're more important than anything, and you already know that. And sometimes we just need to change the perspective. And as soon as we change the perspective, sometimes it's all it takes to see the light. And depends of how you choose to see yourself, or depends of how you choose to see your life right now. You may recognize that it's all happening really well, but of course you may be lost in certain stories you're telling to yourself, or you may be dealing with certain hard situations, as we are all sometimes. And because maybe you're feeling stuck, or whatever is happening, you've lost that sense of freshness, or you've lost that sense of flow. You think that nothing is working for you, that you're not supported, that you're not that talented one who's always happy and always excited about life. But you are still something, and make sure that you will make the most out of that something. So as we start to transform pain into process and mess into a message, we can learn so much about ourselves as we're moving through this whatever kind of situations and lessons. So sometimes when we recognize that we are hurt and that what we're dealing with is causing us a lot of pain, it's actually a beautiful moment when we transform those sensations into a process. Because sometimes we have that dream for the future and we know what we want, but still something is holding us back, like some heavy old energy still kind of locking us into the past. At some point we need to decide to use that pain as a motivation to move forward. So it doesn't need to be pain, it can be whatever you feel, but you can always use it as a motivation, like, I just don't want to stay here anymore, I just don't want to be stuck anymore, and I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to experience something new. I'm ready to expand in this area. Because, you know, being stuck somewhere is like imagining a tree growing in a room. It can grow to a certain degree and it can expand to a certain degree, but at some point it will feel stuck. It will feel limited by all the walls around it. And then when you do something you're afraid of and you overcome that fear, it's like pulling that tree out of the room and putting it outside where it will experience the next possible degree of freedom. And all it is required is to sometimes just put yourself into a new soil. And that new soil can be a new location. It can be a start of doing something new. It can be a new habit. It can be a new belief. It can be a next change you will do on yourself. So don't be afraid to make these tiny little changes which are slowly guiding you into the next version of yourself. And you know, sometimes the days we are the most uncomfortable are also the days we learn the most about ourselves. So I've learned so much about being uncomfortable when it comes to filming these videos, for example. You know, at the beginning I was so uncomfortable. I had that fear talking in front of the camera. I had the fear because my English was not the best. My English is my second language. Then when it comes to painting, I had fears like what people will say, what if my paintings are not good enough, what if people will not buy my art, because, you know, at the beginning I went all in. I said I will make a living out of doing what I love. And of course I've experienced so many of those different fears. What if it will not work? But still I decided, well, I will go all in and let's see what happens. Because, you know, at some point we need to decide, will we trust our fears or will we trust our hearts? And any decision will become your truth. So it's truly important what we decide, because, you know, whatever will you decide, that's what will create your new reality. And if you will decide to follow your heart, everything will align for you. And of course, maybe you will move through some more painful experiences to gain that strength that you need when you will manifest it. But it's all okay. At the end, everything makes sense. Everything works out. And I just want to remind you that the days you feel uncomfortable are the days you learn the most about yourself. So don't be afraid to do the things which make you feel uncomfortable. Because you know what? To make a star shine, it needs to be lost in the darkness. And you know, often we are lost in the darkness, and it's okay. It's not easy, it's not, it doesn't feel good, but you know, that's where we find our greatest talents, our deepest talents. That's where we find our natural gifts, which truly make us who we actually truly are. And sometimes to find ourselves, we truly need to deal with our darkest emotions and hardest, heaviest feelings. That's where we start to understand that maybe our past was truly our greatest teacher, and what we went through was all actually perfectly aligned to make us who we need to be, or who we need to become to experience everything we want to have. So whatever we went through is making us who we need to be in order to have what we want to have. And of course, often it's hard to understand this process because people think that their manifestations should just come to them. They should just live their dream life. But then we recognize that if we don't have that emotional intelligence, mental strength, and of course mental clarity, when we get the things we want, we get so overwhelmed that we don't actually have the knowledge how to use it, how to keep it, how to nurture that new energy, that soon we lose it. That's why we're moving through ups and downs and ups and downs until we learn to balance all the energies. So we may recognize that what we are learning in this process of life is to manipulate and balance the energies. What we call good energies and what we call bad energies, it's all part of nature, it's all part of this universe. And because of our free minds, when we can make up stories and we can use imagination to think whatever we want, sometimes we make up negative stories which are truly limiting our life's experiences. And that's why it's important when it comes to symbols like we're talking today about 444, a symbol of change, a symbol of truth, recognizing the truth in this present moment, in whatever you're dealing with, whatever you are moving through, seeing the truth in that moment will set you free. And when it comes to saying the truth, you know, truth is relative. Everybody can see the truth differently. But your job is to find your own truth, which is freeing you. Not something you're saying to yourself so you would feel better, but something that you actually recognize in your life that is setting you free. Like, for example, to me, truth is that I love to create. And I love to express my soul in whatever I'm doing. That's the truth for me. And if every single day I take time to do that, I will be happy, I will be fulfilled. And wherever I am, I'm doing that because I love to do that. But to somebody else, maybe that thing would feel like hard work, like punishing, like why you're always doing, why you're always creating. So, you know, and sometimes when I'm dealing with moments where I'm not inspired, I can see the truth in it as this moment is a teacher for me to overcome a certain mental fog or fogginess, or overcome certain fears or anxiety or certain emotions which are not allowing me to be in alignment. Because what I've learned about myself is that when I'm pure, where my energy is pure, I am creative. I have a lot to share. I have a lot to give. But when I get lost in different emotional sensations which lower down my energy, I will experience more of that mental fogginess. I will be a bit more disconnected from my true self, and that's where I will lose inspiration and clarity. So those are, to me, reminders to take time for myself, to nurture myself, to nurture my energy, and disconnect a little bit from the world, from everything that is happening, everything that's happening in my life. Those are the days where I will spend much more time in nature. Those are the days where I will journal much more. I will talk with people I love. You know, to remind myself that actually we are all dealing with those sensations. And it's so important to know ourselves to such a degree that we understand when we are dealing with something and what we do when we're dealing with this maybe a bit heavier emotion. So it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with being lost there. It's all about change and allowing changes to enter into our lives by taking time to do something new, or to do something which it's been a while since we done it before. And, you know, also taking care of the character we are still carrying on, because character, it's coming from the mind. It's like persona we are wearing around, and You know, when it comes to character can always be influenced by the sun. It's the masculine energy. And right now we are in this Virgo season where your character, your mind can be influenced by that Virgo's energy, which is a lot about hard work, thinking about the future, designing some new goals and plans, and building discipline in areas which can help you grow. But because of that, sometimes we may lose ourselves in working and overdoing and overthinking as well. So it's important to pay attention and to ground ourselves that we are not the character. The character is more like something we are wearing. And we need to purify our energy channel with meditation and grounding ourselves and journaling and whatever process can help you to remind yourself of who you truly are, your real character, which is your soul, your spirit. So you will not get lost in the character, because character likes to, our mind likes to attach itself to certain things. So it would feel kind of grounded in this third dimension, which is nothing wrong with that as long as we are aware of who we are and we know our roots. But when those attachments become so strong that we slowly lose our real connection with our soul, that's a great time to break those chains a little bit and do something completely else, where we will distract ourselves from this third dimension and we will remind ourselves once again who we truly are. And it takes some time. That's why often people go through the dark moments, because they've lost themselves just in this material world. And not that there's something wrong with it. We are all learning about, as I mentioned before, how to balance those energies. But it's important to know that those dark moments are not because something is punishing us. It's because we've lost ourselves a little bit too much in this material world, and it takes some time to get back to who we truly are. If we meditate a bit more often, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it doesn't feel right, even though it's hard to overcome that overthinking and emotional, those heavy emotional sensations, we still do it because we know that we are nurturing our true connection. And it's time, as same as we take time to eat and we take time to work out or to do something physically, and we take time for our job to make money or whatever we are doing, it's important to take time to nurture that real connection, which is connecting us and reminding us of who we truly are. So, my friends, I hope this message can inspire you a little bit to recognize where you are in your life. Maybe you just need to step outside your comfort zone a little bit to welcome new changes and new miracles, which are always flowing to you. But because sometimes we are too attached to certain perceptions of how things should be, we block what is meant to be. So, my friends, I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings and power. Write in the comments below how this video inspired you, and if you need some daily reminders, daily messages, go and check out my Instagram page, AttractPassion, where I'm sharing daily messages, quick messages to uplift your spirit so you can do something with that new energy. And also feel free to check out my other Instagram page where I have my art gallery, I Draw My Passion. Also thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. Till next time, one love.